We're here to help all of our pre-service teachers be successful, and that's our job and that's our passion.
I was someone who hated mathematics, and now it is my joy, it is my passion. I now get the honour and the privilege to teach future teachers, having them come into the classroom, some of them petrified, and I get to now share my story of, hey, this was me. I get to see pre-service teachers go through this beautiful transformation, and then they become the future change agents to their students.
I chose teaching because I've always wanted to work with young people who have disabilities. So as a mature age student, I embarked on my career as a special education primary qualification teacher.
As with many people, my mother was an educator. My father was an academic as well.
My mum was a teacher, and I used to watch Mum do what she did, and she loved it. But I also, as a kid, I had some really good sports coaches, and I got involved with some coaching and recognised that maybe I could actually do this full time if I'm working as a teacher.
I started in primary education, and then I got a job working with children who have quite complex disabilities. I realised that I didn't have the skills that I needed, so then I went back to university and did my Master of Education in Special Education, and decided that the best way to support children who have disability in inclusive education was through teacher education.
A lot of my experiences come from the field in which my students are going to be working in. I think that balance between having an understanding of the research base that informs what we do at universities, as well as the practical experience, is really beneficial in working with students.
For many of us teacher educators, what we bring is not just our degrees, but our life experiences, our lived experiences. They inform our teaching, and one could argue even hold it up.
Having worked in the classroom, I think partly as a mature age person and not coming straight from school, I had a bit of life experience behind me to start off with. I'd worked with people with disability in the workplace, had done work skill training with people with disability. So those experiences combined with my classroom experiences just helped bring a completely different perspective to the world of teaching. But I've got real life examples that I can bring in to my teaching to demonstrate how the theory supports our practice.
And I've taught in preschools and schools and early years settings. I have a knowledge of what it takes to teach these different age groups, and also where children start very young as babies, but also where they move to in those later years of primary. So I can see what they need to be learning very early on in order to prepare them for those later years. And because I've supported so many teachers through the programme now, I can see what's important for them to learn in first year, second year, and then what we need to do to prepare them for graduation and then entering the field.
I was exposed to teaching as a relief teacher, as a short-term contractor in schools. I was working as a casual academic. Understanding how all of those pieces of the puzzle fit together means that we can then recognise the way that that might shape their interactions on a daily basis as a student, and really harness the positives that come from each of those different pieces.
We like to use the word authenticity. We bring ourselves and our different lives, our former jobs to the fore, and then remind our pre-service teachers that they must do the same things.
Most students desperately want someone who's actually been there and performed the role that they are expected to perform, and that you can provide them with things that you've got right and wrong, and be really, really honest with the students.
As a specialist special educator, I was working in classrooms of 8 to 12 children. It was wonderful, but I really wanted to be able to impart to more people the different approaches that we can bring into teaching.
I can have an impact on individual lives of children and families, but I can have an even greater impact by teaching teachers who then have the potential to impact those multiple children's and families' lives.
When you work at a university, you get to work with hundreds and hundreds of students who will then go out and work with other students.
I know that the teachers that I'm training up will now have that huge impact across generations, and knowing that I've played a part in that is just incredible.